Now, I don't know about you, but just enforcing it doesn't help me because when it comes to these fields and the records, I update them all the time. Like maybe an employee quits, they get fired. I want to be able to remove them from the employees table. So just enforcing it doesn't allow me to delete the employee, their record, because it's going to be tied to the employee ID for the computer that they're assigned to. So in order to go ahead and update related fields or delete related records, I need to go ahead and check these cascade options. But keep in mind that when you do delete an employee, that it'll delete the corresponding computer that that employee's been assigned to. So you want to keep that in mind, because if you're still going to use that computer and assign it to another employee, maybe you don't want to delete the employee and think of other ways and avenues to go ahead and add a new employee and then reassign that computer to the new employee before you delete the old employee, or create a field that you can type in that the employee has been fired or is no longer working with us. That way we still have their information without deleting it and deleting the corresponding computer that they're assigned to before we assign that computer to somebody else. And then finally, before I go ahead and click Create, notice down below the relationship type. More often than not, you're going to have a one-to-many relationship, as opposed to the other type being one-to-one. And we'll talk about one-to-one in the next training video, but let's go ahead and click Create. And there's the link between the two fields that when I do in one, when it comes to adding computers, and I add the employee ID that can be found over here, it'll update or reflect it over the employees and vice versa. Let me go ahead and click and drag this out so you can see it more readily. The link between the two, there's the link, and notice over here you've got the 1 for the employee's ID, the primary key field, and the infinity symbol over here. That means, as you recall, the primary key field cannot have any duplicate values. It's unique. It can only have, for that field, one unique record, so there's the 1. You can only have one employee over here assigned to, well, there's many computers. You can actually have an employee assigned to maybe a laptop, a tablet PC, any other computer devices that you want to keep track of. So you can have many computers assigned to one employee or one employee assigned to many computers. Now, if you made a mistake and you didn't mean to relate that field to that field, because maybe when you're clicking and dragging and you accidentally let go of the other field and you click Create and you're like, that doesn't work, and if it doesn't find a link there, Access will tell you. But in any case, if you want to change this or even remove the relationship, you can do it one of a couple of ways. You can either go ahead and double click really fast on the line, and you can bring up the Edit Relationships window, and if you don't want the front-end user to be able to delete related records or update related fields, and just enforce it so it's always there, they can't make any changes to the records, and then go ahead and uncheck it, make the changes, and click OK. Or let me click Cancel. You can also right-click on it and go down to Edit Relationships or even Delete. And it says, are you sure you want to permanently delete the selected relationships from your database? Yes. And then just go ahead and do it again. Again, it doesn't matter. Foreign key to primary or primary, clicking and dragging it to foreign key. Gonna check the boxes and click Create, and we're back to our relationship. Let's go ahead and look at all the other relationships we can create between these other tables here and finish this off. Like we've got the department code, and that's why I put the foreign key fields as the last field, because I'm looking at the bottom and then looking at the primary keys to find out or to recall how I can relate these. Because if you have a lot of tables, I don't know about you, but it's a little bit challenging for me to remember them all. In any case, click and drag from one to the other and go ahead and enforce and cascade to update related fields and delete related records and click Create. Let's see, manufacturer. Let's go ahead and click that here to select it and drag it up to the manufacturer ID in the computers and enforce, cascade to update, delete, and create. Now this looks kind of like a mess here, but you can move them around just by clicking on the title bar for the table. So I can click and drag this down here, click and drag that up here, and you can make them just look all nice and organized and straight. Oh, I'm going to do this over here. And that's it. So you see how my tables are all related, either directly or indirectly. That way, for the manufacturer, I can eventually find out how many manufacturers or the popular manufacturer for each department by going through this route here, without having them directly related through manufacturers to departments, because they don't directly relate, but they will through going through computers, then employees, and then to the departments table. And then when you're done with the layout, you like it, go ahead and click Close, and it says, do you want to save the changes to the layout? You can say yes, and then come back up here to Database Tools, to Relationships. There's the layout, so if you move that around and you close out, again, it's going to save that move that you made for the departments table up there, and then come back up here and Relationships and and then go ahead and be sure to save your work.